Comic Book ASMR. Today we're going to be doing another comic book haul. And I got quite a bit of stuff, so this is like a month's worth of books. And then I've got some cool trades to show off. So we're just going to get started. First off, we have Detective Comics number 1091. And this is probably one of my favorite books out right now. I love Miguel Yannen's art, which I believe is all digital, but I just love the way he does it. I loved when he was on Batman, when they relaunched all those titles. And I'm glad he's working on Batman again. So the big thing with this is they're reinventing aspects of Batman's origin story. Not reinventing, but adding to the mythos. So there's been some cool developments in here, and I'm just looking forward to seeing where it goes. And yeah, I just absolutely love Miguel's art style a whole lot too. So, and I think he does like 3D model type stuff too, but it's whatever. It's one of those things, if you can pull it off and make it work, then hats off to you. I love looking at his art. I think it's fun and engaging. And like I said, this is one of my favorite books right now. Next we have Absolute Batman number 2. And so, as opposed to the other, this is a brand new, totally different take on Batman here. And as you can see in this version, he is ridiculously jacked. And I would say even more unhinged. We see a bit more of the trauma associated with the bats for him. We get this nice childhood flashback here. And he's in the throes of fighting with a field-tested version of Alfred here, who is not on his side. We see him, looks like he's hanging upside down there like an actual bat. And then, yeah, he just kind of does more off-the-wall things than even the Batman that we know. Look at this, he's like got his face flaming into the building there. So yeah, just definitely a much more unhinged Bruce. Seeing if there's any more. A lot of talking in the later half of it. Oh yeah, this part, there's like a flashback where he's having a card game with pretty much the Rogues Gallery as we know them, like Edward Nygma, and I think Killer Croc's this guy here. And so it's fun. There's some backstory where he's, more or less playing poker with, who we know as his enemies. But I don't think there is enemies at all on the Absolute line. Then we have Absolute Superman number 2. And this is fun. We see on the cover here, he's fighting this army of peacemakers here. I wanted to call them Peace Walkers, but I was like, no wait, that's Metal Gear. And I really wish I had this Maxi Zeus Build-A-Figure here. But I just can't bring myself to buy all the other Batman animated figures that I've already previously got that were the DC Direct ones. So yeah, if I remember with this, I think an element here is they kind of made his cape a living entity in here, in a very overpowered one. It kind of reminded me of a bit of like Spawn-esque type stuff going on here. And this story is when he meets Lois, this is Lois here. And in this story, she's like a field person. I guess she's like a combat type person. I don't know what particular service or whatever. I don't remember that info, but yeah, he basically takes her out of the battlefield here, somewhere else entirely different. And see, his cape's got kind of this crazy thing going on here. She tries to apprehend him, and then he just kind of like takes her with him. And we have Wolverine number 3. I guess number 4 and 5 has already come out, so that annoys me. I could have sworn that I was getting them held, which I guess they forgot or something. But in here we see Wolverine interacting with a different Wendigo, if I remember correctly. So, you know, the same type of creature as that first appearance in that Hulk. But this is like a younger Wendigo, so he's trying to still figure out how to handle himself in situations, and I think Wolverine's kind of helping him a little bit. And then we've got like all these other people in the woods here too. That Wolfie's just trying to stay downwind of and, you know, do what he does best, you know. But yeah, I've been enjoying this. I'm just picking up a few Wolverine titles and the Deadpool team up and stuff. And it's been fun. Something different, you know. And we have Batman number 155. Nice little penguin cover there. I like the common cover in here. I'm glad that all the variants have the common cover inside, because that's a cool one with the Court of Owls there. Yeah, so this storyline is about Batman trying to fit the pieces together on a murder scene here that has implicated Gordon involved in it. And so Batman's trying his hardest to prove Gordon's innocence. And we get quite a crazy backstory here. Unveiling a few elements that I wasn't even aware of about Commissioner Gordon as well. So I enjoyed reading that. Definitely has some more spotty elements to him. But, you know, that's just kind of what's compelling in stories in general, is whenever we're kind of like taken off guard. And so he's got like some love affair type stuff going on. I didn't recall this, but apparently his wife had been killed for some time. So yeah, he was messing around with someone else's wife here. And then yeah, we see the altercation here, where he's talking to the husband of the guy's wife. And there we have it. You see, Gordon may have possibly killed this man. And he's like, I know Batman will clear me, you gotta believe me. And Batman is working on doing the legwork. So, good compelling issue here. Then we have Batman Uncovered number 1, which this was just some random, it's all just like a cover gallery. And they've done like an inner stitch where it's like, you know, the Robin family together looking at like a photo album of these images here and just having a running commentary. So this is a nice opportunity to get some of these variant covers that you may not have acquired or not. I have quite a few of them already, but I don't have all of these featured. So I'm kind of glad that I got this. We see a lot of the earlier Rebirth Batman stuff, and then quite a few of the later ones in here. I would say I probably got maybe about 60 or so percent of the covers featured. I love this one, the death metal. And I think this was a brand new cover they put on here. A little DNA artwork. Then we have Superman number 20. And we see a reinventing of Doomsday in this current storyline, which this is being drawn by Dan Mora, which I think Dan Mora is probably one of the best things to happen to DC as of recent. He is so solid with the work that he does. I love how they've got the reference to the 90s 2-pack Doomsday and Future Superman figure that had come out there. But yeah, in this storyline, we see Doomsday has more or less transitioned into a character known as the Time Trapper. So he's come to warn Superman to kind of do as he says, or, all of his friends and family are going to die in a way that he's gonna regret them having died. So he's like, oh, just so you know, it is going to happen. You can't change it unless you heed my warning. And of course, Superman is just kind of, he's very skeptical. But I think he's gonna come to find out here. Things can get sideways pretty fast. I'm trying to remember at what point Lois suddenly got powers. I know there was a Rebirth part where she had gotten powers or something, but I didn't really retain what had happened there, so I don't know if they're re-pulling on that thread or not. But yeah, that's something to note. And then I'm just gonna smatter all these together because Action Comics have been coming out once a week, I guess. So we have an Action number 1075. And there's even more than this, I think, in the other box. This is 1076. And these all feature a backup story with Supergirl. Okay, I think this is the last one. 1077. So I'll show you the inside of this one. So yeah, we've got stuff going on here where Superman goes into the Phantom Zone. There's something going on with, all the people that have been imprisoned, where their lives are pretty much being destabilized within the Phantom Zone / Kandahar as well. I think that's the name of the city, like the one in the little glass bottle. And there's other stuff here going on with Mon-El as well. And, it's one of those things where Superman's, his ethics are being tested. And then there's a side story here with, the Superman of North Korea. And then I think Connor as well. And then, the other Superboy as we know him here. I don't particular storyline looks slightly along the same vein as how Doomsday is currently looking, though. If you're not paying attention, that could confuse you, but yeah, so stuff is destabilizing here. And then there's a beautifully drawn backup story in here featuring Supergirl. Which, yeah, I've never really read any Supergirl comics or anything, but I really like this art style here. It's very kind of mysterious and intriguing. It's very dreamlike. And then I'm kicking myself because I didn't get it. They've got a preview to a Two-Face series that had come out, and I saw it on the shelf there, but it's one of those things, like, I still try to be choosy when I can. I'm just like, I'll probably just get the trade of this story, because I have like more bookshelf space than like comic box space. And it's just kind of weird, you know, you get like those 4 random miniseries books in the middle of your regular collection. It's just kind of clunky, you know. But the main advantage is you get to read this story, you know, on time, as opposed to waiting 4 or so months for it collected. Oh, here we go. This is the last part. 1078. So yeah, nice Supergirl cover. And then I'll just show a little bit of the interior. But yeah, same art style here, same continuing story. We see this stuff here. The Phantom Zone. And they're all ticked off at him. Basically, he wants to help the prisoners, but then the people of Kandahar, they're like, hey, you know, these are our prisoners. We have the final say in what happens to them, and we don't care whether they get destroyed or not. And then here's that Supergirl art. We see Power Girl makes an appearance here. Which apparently Power Girl and Supergirl are pretty close friends. And this was a book that I really got for this awesome cover. So this is the Robin Smells, or Batman Smells Robin Laid an Egg Christmas special. We have this awesome Lee Bermejo cover with Deadman and a knocked out Joker there. And the back's got all these little Batmans with stink lines on them. Although, as I was reading, the ink did rub on there, so that was annoying. That has rarely happened to me, and you know, to have it happen on a $10 book, just slightly annoying. So yeah, this is an anthology book. We can see all of the creative talents there. And I'll just show a couple pages. So we've got a Green Lantern story here with Mrs. Claus. And then we'll skip ahead. We have a Secret Six storyline featuring some stuff about Bane, which even as I started to read, I'm like, oh, I'm wondering if they're gonna bring up his bear toy, Osito, if I remember if that's what the name of it. And then there's a Constantine story that kind of reminds me a little bit of Rick and Morty artwork. I know it's not, but it just kind of, you know, the stretched out nature of it and stuff. Which honestly, this artist might have done some of the stories in the comics, because I did read some of those when they were collected into trades from my library a long time ago. So there's that one. And then we kind of get like one of these Christmas Carol stories featuring the Joker with ghosts of Robin leading him around. How fitting, right? piece of artwork in there. Really more in the vein of kind of that Neil Adams feel, as you know, he was famous for kind of making that character known. Maybe even creating. I'm not well versed in Dead Man too much. And then we have this cool story here with Dr. Midnight called Silent Night. Takes place in 1941, I believe. And it's all dialogue-less and, you know, black and white. So a nice dramatic period piece. And then we have another backup in here. I think that's the last story. Oh no, there's a random little Superman story too. That's even shorter. Right there. With the toy man, I think. And we have World's Finest, number 33, which unfortunately Dan Moore is still not doing the interiors. It looks like he's doing the end covers though, still. But, Bomb Villains, color palette kind of keeps it where it doesn't depart too much from the feel of the other ones. Which, now that I'm looking at, she's not even on the colors anymore. I guess they've really just established the palette for this series. Guess, yeah, it reads with those more, you know, kind of unique pinkish hues. Kind of a different type of prismatic saturation. Then we have, I love those collab here, Turtles meet Naruto with these Jorge Jimenez main covers. I love it. I wish he did all the interiors, but honestly, the interiors of these looks pretty solid. I don't know this artist here, but this is great. I do like this art. So yeah, we see the turtles there with their masks on. And y'all know how this goes, you know. Heroes meet heroes. Naturally, they have to fight, have a misunderstanding, and then get on the same page, you know. So yeah, lots of fun. I look forward to seeing more of this. Then we have another fun crossover, Turtles of Grayskull, which I could have sworn I had the first issue, but I guess I don't. So I gotta go back and get it. But this was a book originally Freddie had done a bunch of work for it conceptually, and then it didn't go anywhere, and then I guess they worked out something with the rights on it, and they were finally able to actually get it rolling again and publish it. So pretty cool, because I remember him just kind of lamenting about it years ago on his socials. And then there's a thing in here we get to see Mikey where he's got like He-Man's hair. And then we have all this fun concept work, which we have a really cool version of Renee here too. Yeah, look at Mikey's hair. Just hilarious. And we have Multiverses number 5, and look at that. I love this cover. Dan Mora cover. And we have part number 6, which I could have sworn, I love this too. I could have sworn this was going to be the last issue. It's got a question mark at the end of this, so I don't know if it's just doing one of those fake out, hey, this miniseries is over, but we might continue type of things. But yeah, I've loved reading this. This was a lot more fun than I was initially anticipating. I originally got these for my oldest son because he's actually really, really good at multiverses. His main is Marvin. They keep not making his moveset very strong, but he's like one of the top best players, like online, against literally everyone. With Marvin, he's like probably top 100, if not even higher than that. But he's like, yeah, it's just too hard to try to continue to be, fighting tournaments with him because Marvin's moveset is not overpowered. But no, this book has been really fun. This series has been fun, and it actually deals with a lot of the how they actually, like, the game is set up. Like, even in this issue, it's kind of like explaining what it is we're playing. So it's like formed out of this whole storyline. It's not just the storyline in general, but it's one of the elements, the solutions in this story involves the game. And we have Turtles number 4, which we have Donnie's in super rough shape in this story. This is the last of the Spotlight books. So Donnie's the last one, and he has been through the ringer. He's basically been thrown into like a mutant torture camp type situation where people pay to abuse the mutants, and Donnie keeps winning against the people who try to hurt him, and so then they get ticked off and they all fight him at once. And then, of course, hijinks ensue. But he's at a point where his spirit's been broken and his mind has been broken, which, knowing Donnie is the intellectual, it's pretty crazy. And look at how messed up he's been, like, tortured so much that he's, like, lost his muscle. So he's all, like, skin and bones. And he's just not all there anymore. So yeah, Chris Burnham did a good job at conveying kind of like that super sickly, queasy look to Donnie. Chris always does really well with the kind of drawing things that are kind of difficult to deal with. I love his work so much. Next we have the Saturday Morning Turtles number 19. We continue with Schoning's work here, which he's the guy that does the stuff that looks just like the cartoon, as you've heard me say again and again. I don't know how this man does it. I'll keep, like, every now and then I'll post something on his Insta and I'll be like, hey, how do you do that? And he'll like the comment, but then he will not divulge his secret on how he makes the stuff look just like the show. But I love it. I love the fact that it's literally just expanding upon the old school show. I love it. And it works. It's just fantastic. And then, yeah, we get to see characters like Old Hob mixed in with all these old school guys. Yeah, there's Old Hob there. And we have Night Watcher number 4. And the thing I loved about this issue is Turtles 4 transitions into this scene here. So this is the first time I've really felt kind of a true cohesion between the two books. I know they're all connected and they're trying to really, triple dip into the success of IDW Turtles. Turtles is the most successful book IDW has. So they're really trying to maximize profits with it. which can be a good and a bad thing, because if your output is more and more books, then stuff does sometimes wane in quality. In the secondary books like this one and the other one aren't ones that excite me, unfortunately. Which isn't to say the art's bad or anything, but the story of them just really doesn't strike me the same as the regular ongoing Turtles book. But they're all important. It's like you gotta read them all to get the full scope of what's going on. Which of course is by design. And I'm sure if they ever do another crossover, naturally they'll have to buy them all anyway. Then we have Mutant Nation number 2, featuring this kind of reimagined Casey Jones as well. And I think we've got stuff going on with Orion here too. And we have a, like, what happened to Metalhead type situation going on here too. So yeah, it's cool because you get to see what's going on with the backup characters. Yeah, and then we get some San Luco art here. So yeah, we get a Karai backup story with her and Casey Jones. And this is spins out of the recent Karai miniseries they had that San Luco also did. Which I love his style. I love that it's just getting more and more polished. And we have this beautiful book here. This is Violator number 3 of 6. I can't recommend this enough. If you read Spawn, the Violator miniseries is kind of essential. This is like his full backstory, like his full history leading up to, the current stuff. So yeah, we get this really gritty, uneasy, spirally sort of, like I've said, it kind of reminds me of Sam Keith's style a little bit. I mean, Sam Keith is certainly a class of his own, but it just kind of reminds me of, kind of the deep inks going and all the, frenetic nature to it and kind of crazier proportions and stuff. But it's fun. It's visually really fun to look at, and I love it. And it's solid too. Like, this is a big book. It's a little more than the typical ones, but it's like all heavy paper, thick cardstock cover. I love holding it. Just holding it feels good too. Like, sometimes they'll put like a cover on books like this that's like the same quality as the interior pages, and I hate that. But this, delivers as just like feeling like a premium book. And then we get some black and white work in the back, which, as you guys know, I love to see the full process. And cardstock makes such a nice sound for you all. So we still have a little more to get to. So I finally saw this as a trade. This is the Batman Santa Claus Silent Night trade. So this is Batman and crew and Santa versus Krampus. And this is just fun. It's a fun read. I don't know if I'll be coming back to it every Christmas to read, but I mean, it just feels like, some off-the-wall special that you would watch on TV, And it's got these great covers mixed in here by Dan, and then random covers, which most of them are Santa being uncomfortable with one of, the sexy ladies. The first one here with him and Zatanna. He's got these little sweat drops. He looks a little bit like Eggman there. She's in her fishnets there. But yeah, this is fun. It's a fun story, lots of action. And you get to see all the covers from the storyline. So I got that, and then what they had, I didn't even know this was being done either. I really need to start looking at the previews again. But yeah, I got this totally sight unseen. They have this special, was just in poly bag here, Silent Night Returns #1. But this sucker was $10, and I was like, oh man, for $10 it better be something cool. And it was pretty cool. The cover is a rub it and sniff, which everywhere, pretty much if you rub on the tree here, you can't smell it. But it smells just like a pine tree, pretty much like the Dr Squatch soap I'm using right now. It smells just like this cover. So we get this fun cover here. And then, yeah, this continues on. I wish they kind of went back to the same thing with Krampus. This current adversary, it's not really grabbing me. I mean, it's still a fun, this is the main bad guy here. So I don't really know the significance of this guy as far as like a holiday threat. Everyone knows Krampus at this point. So this guy's kind of got like a demonic sort of crusade thing going on. And yeah, of course, Santa's back into the fold. He's helping Damien here. He's been separated from all the adults, and he needs help. And we've got all the other kind of supernatural guys here, and they come upon this castle that's using human lives. And then we have issue #2 of it. And I said, please hold the rest, so I hope I get the other parts held for me too. I'm not sure if it will happen though. If it doesn't, I get it, but hopefully they'll remember. And if not, then I'll just put, the next trade on the shelf beside the first volume. Then I got the X-Men 97 trade. So this is the prequel to the new Disney Plus show. And yeah, we've got little snippets of the other variant covers. Which, yeah, this was a series that just kept flying off my local shop shelf. So I was unsuccessful in securing any of the single issues. So naturally, when I saw the trade, I was like, well, I've got to get this. So I haven't actually read this yet. This is like one of the few things I didn't get to. Well, as far as like my new stuff. But yeah, I had to get it because, yeah, I love the X-Men 97 stuff. And we get the main covers were all Todd Knock covers, which you guys know I love Todd Knock. So, pretty cool. And then I went back on eBay and got a few things to fill in my back issues here. Basically, I was looking through my trades and I'm just like, wait, what is this and why don't I have it? So we've seen this iconic Jim Lee image quite a bit on t-shirts and things like that. So I was like, wait, and I actually used to have a trade. It was the Jim Lee Visionaries trade, I believe, that had that cover on it. So I was like, I know that image. But I think it was just like, and it even may have just reprinted his bit because that's what they were doing at that time. But yeah, so all of the annuals at this time had one of the parts of this crossover here, this shatter shot. And yeah, I love how in the back you get a bunch of pinups by renowned artists. We get a Mike Mignola Mojo back here. And yeah, there's just kind of little surprises work to some of the artists I don't remember here. I don't know who Tom Rainey is. We get a beautiful Jim Lee Savage Land Rogue back there. just kind of, you get these beautiful little kernels of gold stuck in here. We get a Grey Capullo picture of Rogue and Psylocke there. And then there's all these great little stories here, and we have stuff going on with Mojo, and I love Mojo, so. And I'm trying to remember who features the art in part 1 here, so a bunch of people. You see the list of pencilers there. So yeah, you see lots of renowned people there. Brian Stelfreeze, Adam Hughes, Stuart Emonen, Greg Capullo, all sorts of people. Really cool. And then yeah, so I got the full 4 parts here. And then I'll just kind of show a bit of the back stuff there. A Joe Mad Colossus there. Brandon Peterson, I don't remember who that is. Ron Friends, I feel like I should know who that is. I love that Archangel image though. But yeah, more fun stuff here. P. Craig Russell, I know that name. And I think this has to do with the legacy virus. I can't remember exactly. Like the story in general is all about that, if I remember. And who's doing? Yeah, so Jay Lee is the main penciler on this story. X Factor here. We get, I don't know that artist there, Steve Laylaw. Some stuff with Strong Guy, looks like. You get some Bill Sienkiewicz there. And I think, yeah, Joe Quesada's doing the main pencils on this. Which I'm trying to remember if he was just coming off of the Azrael miniseries or not for DC at that point. This was, what, 92? So this may have been right before it, I think. If X-Force, this is part 4, the final part of this storyline. Tom Rainey, you got Adam Kubert. I think another Bill Sienkiewicz there, yeah. I'm trying to remember who's on the art duties on this one. I remember being surprised by it because I think it looked like another style to me. Yeah, it's Greg Capullo, but it doesn't read like Capullo to me. It seems a bit squarish in spots. That reminds me more of John Romita Jr., which I know he was doing a lot of X-Men around this time too. And then to complete my obsession with the X-Men 97 show, I got the book that collects the Operation Zero Tolerance storyline, which this trades out of print. And this one's got a really strange cover, and the spine doesn't read neatly with everything else. is way more affordable. All the other ones are like 100 upwards. And this one I literally got for like 35 bucks. Which, this is a period where I wasn't reading a lot of X-Men at all, but I really wanted to read this storyline in the comics after seeing, the climax of the recent cartoon. So, and you can see this is where they're really pushing the new coloring techniques where everyone looks really shiny and liquidy in nature a lot of the times. They're just like super shiny, glowing in spots that they shouldn't be. Look at Marrow here. But yeah, I look forward to reading this. That'll probably be the final of the older X-Men stuff that I read. I'm currently like making my way through the stuff from the 80s right now. I think I'm on issue 186 or something like that right now. No, I'm on 185 actually. I'm working on the giant size. So yeah, that's gonna do it. But yeah, let me know down below what you want to see. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I hope you guys are having a good holiday. Let me know about, presents you're hoping on getting, or maybe something you hope that I get. I don't know. But as always, you'll have a super slumber. Thanks.